My art's very personal, and I don't often tell people what it's about, and I don't often tell people that it is personal. In fact, I don't like talking about my art at all. I like people to be able to look upon what I've made and come to their own conclusion, put their own ideas on it, project themselves into the piece if they want. I think that's very important, to be able to project yourself into somebody else's artwork. It doesn't need to be about what the artist is thinking, and I think one of the problems we have, especially with analyzing artworks and art history, is we try too often to figure out what the artist was thinking when they made it, instead of really looking at the piece and appreciating it for what it is and coming up with your own thoughts about it. Well, my name is Vaughan, and I'm a junior at Morehead State University, and I'm currently in the design department. I draw very heavily on personal experience and relationships with, I guess, just my surroundings. I'm constantly trying to figure out a way to express personal thoughts and situations that have happened that I've been in through my art. You know, it's very unorganized. I do a lot of thinking, tons of mental brainstorming, and thinking about first of all, I have to figure out who I want to draw or paint, and then after I figure out the person, the subject matter, I'm going to have to figure out my method of doing that, as in, do I want to paint it? Do I want to do a digital piece in Illustrator or Photoshop, or do I want to draw it? I take like for something like this, definitely a lot of reference photos. I can draw from my head pretty well. Like, I have some pretty good references for posing and figure work and facial structure and all that, like mental references, but definitely take photographs. So just go from there, and looking at other people's work is really important to me, because I think that you can learn a lot just by looking at other people's artwork and trying to examine, just deconstructing what they've done and how you can incorporate their work, their skills into your own skill set. With this, I would have a mental checklist. Like, I don't like start in a corner and then go up. Sometimes I'll work on this part and I'll get tired of working on this. And when I know I'm tired of working on a certain segment, like if I'm tired of working on this part, I know I need to move on, because I'm going to mess this up if I continue working on it. Because I kind of feel like there's this balance between your attitude while you're working on the piece and how it comes out is really affected by that. So if you're not in a very good mood, if you've got an attitude about it, like any kind of attitude, like especially one that's leaning towards, I'm frustrated, I don't like how this looks, or this is really difficult, stop. Move on to another part, because you're going to be rash and you're going to mess it up. And even if you don't think you've messed it up, well, let me rephrase that. Even if it doesn't look messed up to somebody else, but you think it looks messed up, it's messed up. I'm really into illustration at the moment, but at the same time, like if this is illustration, this is graphic design, and within the graphic design category, typography. I'm very into typography. I've always, like, just as much as drawing when I was really little, I've always just looked at text, looked at graphics, you know, driving down the road, thousands of billboards, signs, McDonald's signs, you know, anything like that. And I've just focused on what they say, what their tagline is, and how I could fix it even. Like, I've just automatically, can I reword this in any way? It's just something, it's like I've always done it. And, you know, the shapes, the curves of the letters, like that actually make up a word. Typeface, that's what that would be, you know, just looking at the descenders and, you know, the whole format of it. If it's serif or sans serif, like I've always paid attention to it, and I love it. It's an obsession almost. I initially do rough drafts on paper, and which I use a Wacom tablet. It's a digital drawing tablet. Like, I use that a lot, but I don't do any initial rough drafts with a digital drawing tablet. I do it all by hand, and I just feel more, I don't know, collected when I start out drawing it by hand and then, you know, bring it over digitally. But I do tons of rough drafts digitally after that. You know, once I get an idea going, I try to find ways to do it differently that I think might work better. But yeah, I usually finish most of my pieces in Photoshop. it's a way of clearing my mind and kind of an escape. So when I'm sitting there and it's almost like I'm on autopilot, honestly. I think that that's better than any other escape you can have from everything that's going on around. And inside, too. Frequently, my work is in the display case, so you can go downstairs and check it out if you want. I don't know how I feel about art in shows. I kind of don't like it. I don't like. At the same time, I want people to be able to see my art and get a feeling from it, like it evokes an emotion. But at the same time, I kind of just want to hide it and throw it away.